Hello, welcome to this video. So in this video we're going to be talking about different groups of theistic Satanists. We're going to be covering different philosophies and schools of thought, and we're going to be talking about what makes theistic Satanism so varied and give a glimpse of the varied views within it. I really hope you enjoy this video and will get something out of it, and it will help you reflect on who Satan is for you and how the way that you kind of go about Satanism, if you're a Satanist, compared with other satanic groups. And if you're not a Satanist, this will hopefully give you a nice mixture of ideas which have entered into the realm of theistic Satanism. So not a bad place to begin with theistic Satanism is the off-white cult Satanas. Now they were a group founded in 1948 and they believed in Satan as a being that causes knowledge to be given, or a being that liberates someone from something. So this really uses the ideas of Satan as the snake, the one that leads man to look for forbidden knowledge. And also in this group, one common belief is that Satan is the true creator of the world, and that is something you find in other groups, such as, there's a group of videos that come under the love of Satan, and in those videos a particular, the kind of priestess, if you will, or the leader of the group talks a lot about Satan as the true creator, the creator of the human race and the creator of the world. And really the idea of the being you worship having created the world you live in is nothing particularly new, but what is new is that this creator tries to lead people to liberation. It does not try to lead people into kind of dogmatic worship, which makes Satanism quite a new phenomenon even in the theistic realm of things. Also, often Cain is talked about, where Cain is the first satanic priest, or people date back satanic priests sometimes to Cain, and Cain is a figure in the Abrahamic Bible, but is renowned for his sin and his disobedience to God, so some see him as the first satanic priest, in line with the idea of liberation and freedom. Now, similar to the off-white cult of Satanas, but distinct, is the Temple of Set. Now, the Temple of Set believed that when the Egyptians were worshipping the deity that they called Set, the actual person of the Prince of Darkness behind the name of Set is actually Satan, and therefore the god that was worshipped by the Egyptians in ancient times is one and the same with Satan. And this ties into really the biggest question surrounding theistic Satanism, which is, who is Lucifer and Satan, and are they distinct entities, and are they entities that other religions have identified and perceived differently, such as the god Set or any other gods? Now we've covered kind of a beginning point for talking about theistic Satanism, I'm going to move on to something that takes a very different kind of philosophical outlook on the world, and really on Satanism and everything. And this type of Satanism is known as Anticosmic skepticism. And what this essentially posits is that the world that we inhabit is kind of ordered, and the cosmos as a whole is ordered. We see this in things like the cosmic web, where we see a web-like structure. If you look at all the galaxies and matter in the universe, within clusters of galaxies we have order, we have patterns, and the order is defined there by gravity, and gravity tends to order things. In fact, forces in the universe tend to lead to order. However, anti-skepticism believes that outside of this lies pure chaos. So, for example, the Temple of the Black Knight, which are theistic Satanists that adhere to this philosophy, believe that outside of the cosmos there is an infinite number of spatial dimensions, and time is not restricted to being merely one-dimensional, and everything is chaotic and full of possibilities. And it is out of these possibilities that our kind of ordered and structured world emerges. And this is very similar to the Norse belief, because in the Norse belief, you have two realms, if you will, that come into existence, and when those two worlds collide, you start getting things that we're more familiar with, and eventually the Earth begins to be formed from, giants and that kind of thing. But everything began by the colliding of two realms, and outside of these two realms was Guguna, as it's called, the great nothingness, the void, the chaotic void. And so this harkens back to Norse beliefs. But a lot of satanic ideas does kind of inherit somewhat from, ancient beliefs, and this is just one example. Now, with anti-cosmic skepticism, you could very much kind of associate this disorder and this randomness which creates the possibilities that allows for order and structure in life. You could think of the being that kind of, embodies this chaos as an all-creator and possibly Satan. And there's various ways you can incorporate Satanism into an anti-cosmic skeptic perspective. But the Temple of Light are just one such group that use this idea and interpret the chaos as kind of many, many dimensions, far more than we have accessible to us in day-to-day life within the cosmos. And lastly, there's a broad term for worshipping demons which theistic Satanism will fall under, but also other things might fall under, and that is demonology. And demonology is just the practice of worshipping demons. Naturally, it's very prevalent in theistic Satanism, but, you could see it elsewhere. If people worship a group of spirits and they identify these spirits as teachers and leaders and things that kind of tutor the pupil and guide the pupil through life, then arguably they are following, the path set by demons, and therefore they might come under demonology, depending upon whether they worship those spirits or not. Some people aren't happy with the term demonology, so you have to be careful when using it. But demonology is a very broad term which encompasses many things, such as theistic Satanism. And really, what I hope this video shows you is that there is a wide variety of beliefs concerning who Satan is, and a wide variety of different categories that you can use to class Satanism and to decide what kind of Satanist you are. And two big kind of global branches, if you like, of Satanism, which encompass a whole lot in and of themselves, is Abrahamic theistic Satanism and non-Abrahamic theistic Satanism. So Abrahamic theistic Satanism takes Satan to be very much the Satan that is described in the Bible. They might even go so far to say Satan is a fallen angel. But at least they draw very heavily from the Bible, whereas non-Abrahamic theistic satanists, of which I am one, and most theistic satanists fall under, I do not believe that the Satan described in the Bible is the same Satan as the Satan we worship, although we can identify certain similarities, such as a rebelliousness and a leading man to knowledge, which might kind of be darker or more naturalistic per se than the kind of knowledge one might attain by following Yahweh. But there are Abrahamic theistic Satanists, and any viewpoint is kind of valid, Abrahamic theistic Satanists included. I'm just sharing with you where I'm coming from, but it's worth saying that there are Abrahamic theistic Satanists too. And I hope, now having heard everything, you can get a sense of how vast and varied the different types of Satanism are. There's a lot more I could do, but this video is already over 10 minutes, so I'll probably end here. But really, my question to you is, what kind of Satanist are you if you're a Satanist? And if you're not a Satanist, kind of how does your practices differ from those practiced by various satanic groups, and in what ways are they similar, and what groups are they? Now I hope this has given you some food for thought and it's been a good video. I haven't done a kind of informative video for a while. I've done a lot of kind of music and musical worship of Satan, but it's helpful every now and again to do a kind of more information-based video where I share with you just some things that kind of I've come across when researching Satanism myself. I really hope you've liked this video, and please do check out my other videos for more. Thank you very much for listening.